And now an analysis of the operational situation on the Kramatorsk and Toretsk fronts. The bloody rampage of the enemy's army continues here as well. In the Kramatorsk direction, the aggressors stormed the defense forces' positions in the areas of Chasiv Yar, at Novomarkovo, and towards Bila Hora. Our defenders stopped 2 offensive actions by the enemy. Currently, 3 more clashes are ongoing. In the Toretsk direction, since the beginning of the day, there have been 3 clashes, in the areas of Sherbinivka, Druzhba, and towards Stelivka. According to unofficial information, Ukraine has increased the production of its 155mm self-propelled artillery system, Bohdana, from 6 units per month in 2023 to 36. And it is Bohdana that greatly assists our defenders, including on the Toretsk front line. How exactly this happens will be explained and shown by TSN, military correspondent Andriy Tsaprienko.
The domestic Bohdana system is currently stopping an infantry assault in Toretsk, and we need to have more of such weapons. Partners may be here today and gone tomorrow, say these guys. We can stand firm if we have our own, and it's hard to disagree with them.
Fire. No. It's hard not to agree.
It's convincing proof that the production of complex combat systems in Ukraine can be made widespread. I got used to this wonderful gun. We already know absolutely everything about it. At the time of the invasion, there was only one prototype of the domestic 155mm system.
Fire.
And over the past year, Ukraine made 154 guns for the military, and now produces more than 20 Bohdanas per month. As of now, this is the highest rate of artillery production in Europe. We need to produce both ammunition and weapons. As practice shows, partners may be here today and gone tomorrow, and we won't have anything to shoot with. Although the Bohdana is not as automated as its Western counterparts, here near Toretsk the gun has proven to be a very accurate and long-range weapon.
Fire when ready. Fire.
A difficult direction. 20, 30, 40 shells per day are fired.
The Russians are just gaining momentum.
It's summer right now, and everything is just starting for them.
The defense of Toretsk is the longest battle of the entire war with Russia, more than 10 months, longer than Bakhmut. The 100th Brigade and other units currently hold about 1/5 of the city. There is no front line here. Ukrainian positions can be deep in the enemy's rear and vice versa. In Toretsk itself, the enemy has lost more than 15,000 soldiers. Thousands of bodies lie among the ruins of the city because no one retrieves them.
There are constantly many of them. Too many. It feels like they never end and never will.
But to say that they have had any significant success, no.
There is partial success, but I'll say this. If we lose a position, by a certain time of day that position is destroyed, along with whatever entered it.
The Russians do not spare their own. If they notice the Ukrainian armed forces taking prisoners, they try to eliminate them. Ukrainian artillery and drones cut off all roads for the occupiers, but the Russians do the same. Most of the attacks occur when entering and exiting Toretsk. The Toretsk direction remains one of the most intense. Without Toretsk, the occupiers cannot encircle Kostiantynivka, the main logistics center of the Ukrainian defense.
Fire!
Therefore, there is a lot of work for Ukrainian artillerymen here. The commander of the American Paladin unit of the 100th Brigade is convinced that even in the era of drones, artillery has not lost its relevance, especially in Toretsk. Is artillery still relevant?
Yes. Yes, it remains relevant because it covers the infantry. Artillery is artillery. It's indispensable as well. You can't quickly suppress an assault without it. FPV strikes more precisely, but we can deliver a massive strike, completely covering a certain area.
And now, an analysis of the operational situation on the Lyman and Kharkiv fronts. Russian world here continues to destroy, kill, and maim here as well. On the Lyman front, the invading army carried out 17 attacks on Ukrainian positions. In the areas of Nadezhda, Yampolovka, Kolodyazy, and towards Grikovka and Zelenaya Dolina throughout the day. 7 battles are ongoing. Our soldiers are steadfastly holding the defense and inflicting losses on the enemy. On the Kharkiv front, the defense forces repelled 2 enemy attacks near Volchansk and towards Novovasilievka. The war-torn Ukrainian city of Kharkiv continues to suffer from the enemy's brutal bombings. On the evening of April 29th, the Russians launched a massive strike on Kharkiv. The Shevchenkivsky, Kivsky, Saltivsky, and Slobitsky districts were under attack. Apartment buildings and private homes, a medical facility, and civilian infrastructure were damaged. Unfortunately, there are reports of many casualties, more than 40. All the details in the next report by TSN journalist Yulia Boyko.
The night in Kharkiv was loud. This is the Slobitsky district of Kharkiv, just one of the areas where Russian drones caused destruction. Around 10:30, the city's residents heard a distinctive hum, and then the explosions began. A drone hit directly into the wall of an apartment building. One of the 15 drones launched by the Russians towards Kharkiv landed here. The alarm signal came almost after the explosions. Around 10:30, residents heard a hum, and a few seconds later, the apartment building shook. The blast wave shattered windows in several entrances, and debris damaged cars, homes, and people.
Caught us by surprise.
Were you already going to bed?
Well, we were about to. It was 10 o'clock, almost 11, on the 11th. It banged loudly, very loudly on the 17th over there, on the 2nd at the hospital.
We all neighbors?
All the neighbors ran out into the corridor. The whole apartment was covered in glass and soil from the flower pots. It was something terrifying.
I took a shower, had dinner, and went to bed with my kids. 10 o'clock, one explosion. Second explosion, I ran out in just my underwear. We all ran out. I got hurt right here. It's not permanent, I'll be honest with you.
A total of at least 77 residential buildings were damaged in 3 districts of the city. More than 1,500. Windows were shattered, 14 roofs, and the infrastructure was destroyed. In the 8-story buildings, the structures were damaged. The house hit by the Shahed suffered the most damage. Here, the boiler room was damaged and almost all the windows were shattered.
If we assess the degree of damage to the house in terms of the percentage of broken windows, it would be around 80%, because the apartments are complex and each apartment has an exit on 2 sides of the building. We're still figuring out the equipment, we don't know yet. The rooftop boiler room is also in question because it was the closest to where it hit.
Some streets were flooded due to the destruction of water pipes. An enterprise and a hospital were also damaged.
The impact was quite significant.
The impact was near the hospital, in residential buildings, in private homes, multi-story residential buildings, and industrial enterprises. Our city's engineering infrastructure was damaged. The medical facility was damaged because a Shahed hit near it. Windows were shattered. Fortunately, none of the patients or doctors were injured.
It is already known that Russia launched at least 15 Geran-2 drones at Kharkiv. 5 districts of the city were affected. There are reports of 47 injured. Among them are 2 children and a pregnant woman. Assistance points for the victims are already being set up at the impact sites. Psychologists, medical personnel, and public services are still working here.